One.
Hello and welcome to the Man of War Season 4 post-season wrap-up. I'm, I guess, your host today, Connor, otherwise known as the Calamity, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Karl,
Yo.
and Karl's what are you again? Crazy Crusader,
Yeah.
and Brooke is Mr. Scavenge. You want to say hi, Brooke?
Howdy, everyone.
Excellent. That's basically it. You're in charge now, Karl.
Oh, okay. So this basically just what we're
Hashtag
going
hosting
to
done.
be. Yeah. Seamless transition. What we're going to be doing in this video in the postseason for all, we've got a few new players. Is we're going to be going over basically the leaderboard, wrapping up the season, looking at each of the teams where they ended up from where they started, picking an MVP from each team, and then looking at. Oh, we're going to give out some awards too, the end of season awards, and then looking at playoffs and playoff predictions. Did I miss anything? That's pretty much.
I mean, yeah, no, that seems good enough.
Yeah.
No, awesome. All right, well, I guess let's just get straight into it. But before we start, so last season, postseason, we did a bit of a game where I got you to pick the quotes. Seeing as we were recording quotes this time, it was a bit harder, so I have a different game for you guys. Okay, and I'm calling it Gif Who. Okay, so I've got 4 gifts here that I've pulled from our chat. Okay, I want you to see if you two can work out who posted them, uh, and what were they referring to, or what was going on.
I
Like
know
in
one of
response.
them for sure.
Yeah.
I'm positive I posted the Lion King one when Luke lost his first game, or Oliver lost his first game.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. It was no more undefeated teams. Long live the king. Was no more undefeated teams.
That's
And
fantastic.
that's 100% the context. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty.
I was trying to find the one with Frank, and he comes over the top and hits him with the like 2x4, but I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah,
find that gif.
that's been so good. I mean, the one top left is obviously Jeffro ever since he got claws.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah, that's 100% Jethro, and he put it as beating. I got breathing the Orkz. There's a technical error there, but yes, that was when I think he beat you, and he then just was spamming claws that just ate your team. Um,
Yeah,
Uh,
he ruined my team.
yeah.
Um, and I've only just remembered this. I think I might have put the anticipation one up because I
Really?
seem to remember spending way longer than is reasonable looking for that GIF.
I do that all the
Yeah,
time.
you got to find the perfect one. It's the higher form of communication. Do you
Yeah.
remember what it was in response to?
I'm pretty sure it was in response to being really anticipating the game against Luke.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I thought it was the
Oh, it
Chaos
was
versus
Nurgle.
Nurgle. It
Ah.
was Keith versus, and they were both the two bottom teams at the time.
Oh, there
And that
you
was
go.
the.
It was definitely anticipating something exciting.
Um, does anyone know the SMART? Smart.
I feel like maybe Oliver, but I honestly don't know.
Oliver does have pretty good gifts in here. There was actually a gif I wanted to put in of Oliver's, but I couldn't quite fit it in. Um, but this one's applicable even outside of Man of War, I would say. So this was Luke who posted this one, um, and it was in response to his spelling.
Oh yeah.
As usual. So
Oh
he
yeah.
posted a message trying to organize a game, and I think the first response was, "Need translation, please."
Yeah.
And he just posted this. um, yeah. So there was actually a lot of gifts. I had to really cycle through some really good gifts.
Hmm.
Some pretty honourable mentions to Oliver. With his recent GIF of the guy from South Park rubbing his nipples.
Yeah.
I was really trying to include that one.
That's Mel Gibson, right?
No, it's the AT&T or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
like TV service
Ah.
or internet
Yeah.
service, because there's no other providers, and like, oh, you'll have to just go to another provider, and they rip open the little nipple patches, like, oh, there's none in your area. It's some quality television.
All right. Well, so this is we'll hopefully play it again next season.
Oh,
But
yeah,
let's
great
get
game,
into
Carl.
business. The leaderboard. This is where we stand. I believe it's included the kind of draw that Nui and I had to do. Just because hard to organise. when you're busy
Yeah.
and when someone lives in a different time zone.
Yeah.
So, final scores. We've got Karl's Calendar Girls on top, clutching it out from the planet of the Orkz. And then third place, True Love Never Dies. And then fourth place, Weebs and Chads. And Steve's Jobs just edging out behind because of the, I believe
Robbed.
it was the
TD
touchdown
difference.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Oliver's
Will got robbed. Look
yeah.
at
The edginess of the humans kind of gets edges Oliver into the finals, the sneaky bastard. We have Seraphon All-Starz, very strong performance from the first season. Same with Steve's Jobs, actually. This is the two rookie coaches
Yeah,
in fifth and sixth. Yeah,
they
did
were
really
so close to both making it in. If Jade, I feel like, had not tilted as hard in a couple of games, or had not gotten ruined so hard by Nuffle a couple of times as well,
Mm,
he definitely could have made it.
yeah,
And same with Will.
you can kind of see that in his history there. He's either he's black or white, right? Either like
Yeah.
brutal win or horrible. I think yeah, the games he lost really bad, unfortunately. Short Kings on tour, also just down behind here. Don't know if they still ended up being the villains of the season.
that.
As we were looking.
I mean, I think Weebs and Chads are now the villains of the season once again, seeing as they managed to sneak it. If Weebs and Chad weren't in top 4, then I don't think it's the same story.
Flavour Crusaders, best team, just had some bad luck. Crackheads of Chaos, just underneath them. The Chaos Dwarves, really strong, actually, players on this team. Bed Bath and Beyond, which I feel like just needed one more season and was just getting its groove at the end. Action Post.
I think Action Post needed one less season.
Yeah. They just.
It really
they're
took its
actually
toll on this poor team.
Yeah, they actually were a good team. Just they got a very bashy league for them to go into, unfortunately. And the Chaos, unfortunately, just never didn't get off the ground, which is pretty rough for Chaos teams. They kind of if they have a rough start, they it's a bit tough. So that's the leaderboard. So our top 4 are the Amazon, so Karl's Calendar Girls, Planet of the Orkz, True Love Never Dies, and Weaves and Chads. So I think is there anyone Luke's True Love Never Dies? He's been in the playoffs every single time, hasn't he?
Yeah. He hasn't played a meme team yet though, so
Yeah.
I think Oliver as well. Oliver's never missed one.
Oliver's never missed one. Yeah. So strong contenders. And did your Underworld make it to playoffs, Connor?
Nah, they could have. There was a dream there.
Look, my vampires could have made it as well, alright?
Yeah, my goblins totally were in for a chance. Yeah. Well, okay, so yeah, interesting playoffs. I don't want to say
last
too much
season
about it
there
now.
was quite a few new faces in playoffs, but this season it's pretty much back to the same old 4. But not like, because for a while it was just like us 3 or Luke and Oliver being in playoffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't want to say too much about it now because we'll come back and talk about playoffs later on. So I'll come back to this screen later on. So without that, I guess we better get into the team breakdowns. So
Alright, I'm gonna quick grab a cider while you start that, but I'll do 5-minute timers just like the last few times as well.
no worries. Now just going to navigate to Man of War Season 4. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to start at the top and work to the bottom, or start at the bottom and work up?
Yeah, might as well do bottom up, I reckon, because then we can spend maybe a bit more time on some of the upper teams, and like maybe we could do our predictions and stuff.
Yeah, actually, that would
Once we
flow
get
pretty
to it,
well.
because we'll have all that information towards the end, so that it's more relevant, like people can remember it a little bit more.
So in which case, I guess I'll start us off with the. Actually, you've played Chaos before. I haven't actually played Chaos before, so maybe you can take us through Devil Wears Prada.
Sure.
He's Chaos team, while I also go and get us a beer. Get myself a beer.
Nah, you get nice one. Alright, Rook, you want to take the lead?
I think Keith went the good start. Like, I think the other Chaos teams we've had besides mine all went for the Minotaur and less Chaos Warriors. So I think he did the good start, but if I remember correctly, he would roll more double skulls than I think anyone else in the game. I specifically remember him in Jade's game. It was like for a whole half, every turn was a double skull, and half of them were also a double skull into double skull after the reroll. So that was a bit rough. But I think his team developed pretty well. Like, I like getting block on stuff and guard. Extra arms is really good. Tails on the Beastman's pretty cool, actually. Maybe not so much in this league, but looks cool.
And yeah, I think
we've lost the Chaos Warrior along there as well, which is
that
always
does
sad.
look fucking sick. Holy shit!
Oh, they look cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does look dope.
Sick as fuck. Yeah, I think because from my experience with Chaos teams, it's they have a really tough start, and they can have a tough time getting off the ground. And if they don't get off the ground, it can be a pretty rough season for them. But once they start getting some skills, and I think Keith only started getting these skills recently. Like I think for a lot of the league, he basically just had a flat Chaos team.
Yeah. I mean, you can see too the amount of injuries his team's taken as well. So he pushed around a fair bit. I guess Chaos doesn't. Chaos is a bit funny, and it doesn't really start very good at anything. It's like not even a particularly good bashy. Holy shit!
Yeah, -2
He's taken two smash fights, and he is still playing. Question:
What a gun!
If this guy gets another smash collarbone, he will die. Like it just defaults to a death. So what a champion to keep playing. He's got level up too.
I do like his skill choices though. Like he did pick, I think, going lots of block initially, and then like getting some mighty blow and guard, especially in this league. Like good choices for skills.
Actually looks really cool. Yeah, I mean he's got a pretty like his team now is starting to look pretty good, but I think it was just unfortunately a bit too little too late.
Yeah. I think playing Chaos into a bash league is just rough because pretty much every team bash is better than you, and they all have better skills. It's like you don't really have a win there
until you get block and claws and shit. Then you can fucking murder everybody. But yeah,
that's something I was thinking about. Is poor Chaos like they're a bash team, but like they're not as good at bashing. Like they kind of just shit at everything when they start. Like comparatively, like I guess they're kind of a mid-range team that eventually specializes, but.
I think that's the key is they can specialize super easily because the Chaos Warriors and their Beastmen all have access to strength, general, and mutations. So even rolling doubles even that good. Like you maybe take dodge on some of them, but that's it. Like you pretty much have access to any of the skills you want without ever needing doubles.
Yeah, and then
you just have to get those levels.
And unfortunately, he didn't get any stat increases, which is pretty rough. But you know, that's in line with all of us normal folk who play the game.
That checks out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sad we didn't see this. Yeah, because I have seen high-level Chaos teams, and if they get going, they're nasty. They just like you say they don't bash, but once they get going, man, they can just make dwarves cry and shit.
Yeah. So they end up just being like Jethro's team: claws, block, and mighty blow,
and piling on
like 2 or 3 pieces. Yeah,
they're pretty nasty, and not much can stand up to them. Yeah, but yeah, they have to get off the ground. Yeah, any pick for MVP here? I didn't actually catch, unfortunately, many of Keith's games, so I didn't really see who was the Stars player. What about you guys?
I don't know. I always like these names are always hard to remember. Like I think I saw like 2 or 3 of the games, not all of them. But by the looks of it, it looks like that Karl Gross Pinch was crushing it on the field. 23 SPP.
Given it to Paffy Claw. He's my favorite already.
Paffy Claw. Actually, where is that? Oh yeah. To be honest, I'm looking at MVP. The fact that this man has been playing with 2 broken collarbone twice. And that wasn't enough to keep him down. I really wish we could have seen what he would have gotten. Because I would have loved it if he got a strength increase to bring him up to strength 2. You know, what doesn't kill you only makes you slightly weaker.
That's 5 minutes too.
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to give it to Paffy Claw. That's strength 1. But hey, when he blitzes, he goes to strength 2.
Yeah. Which means he 1 dice as the gutter runner. Awesome.
Alright,
cheers for playing, Keith.
Yeah, I know also his computer had a hard time running Blood Bowl for some reason.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh yeah,
it kept lagging out. Yeah.
Yeah.
The internet and everything was going crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for playing. Hopefully we'll see you again in a future season.
Action
Yeah,
Post is next.
Action Post is next. Connor, do you want to take us through Action Post? I actually quite like this team. So
Yeah. They were a bit rough. I think. I wonder how well Nui kept the. I'm just looking at the dead players. So I can see Chuck the Crate Norris died. Bruce Load 'em Up Lee died. And then I think there might have been another. Here we go. Jacques Concierge Consignment Chan. I probably shouldn't be in charge of reading. But he died as well. Oh yeah, here we go. And we got another line. So he's got 4 deaths. So
yeah, and
he just as we always say when we talk about elves, it's players for points, and when the conversion rate's not very strong, you're not in a good position.
However, I will say that in some of the games I watched, and even in the half a game I got to play against him, the elf bullshit that he did manage to pull off when it pulled off was pretty beautiful, and I feel like it either worked or he lost his whole team. But
Yeah.
Sometimes both at the same time.
it was towards the end of the season when I played him. It's really hard to stop this team from scoring when it wants to.
Well, I mean, it's one of those funny things where like his team might have gotten brutalized, and he might have like gotten a bit frustrated there and started going for like mighty blow, and frenzy and stuff because he's like, "Fuck it, I'll beat you up." But fundamentally, his team needs 2 players to score. It needs Arnie ML what's to pass the ball, and he just needs Jathan Sendham Statham to touchdown, and that's it. The rest of the team is all just chaff.
Yeah.
And you can see that in where his SPP's at.
And
Like,
this guy
literally,
here,
it's a 2-person team.
this guy here can just yeet the ball so far. It's actually ridiculous. Like when I was playing him, he did almost like a long bomb. It was the one before long bomb, full downfield, easy send. Um, so, and with this safe pass, it actually makes it quite hard for you to intercept it. So you don't have to worry so much about that, and it makes it much safer for him to do those fucking big long bombs. So, and with the block and dodge, you can't pin this dude down. He just dodges out and yeets it downfield. So this guy was like really hard. This combo when I was playing him was really hard to stop from scoring. And I tried really hard, even like doing your double marking the elves, and they just dodge out. Just like, who cares? Double mark me all you want.
I think I remember the thing that really worked for me when I played Nui was there was the heat wave or whatever, and Jason Statham was off with heat stroke for half the game.
Oh, rough.
And that made the game so much
I
easier.
will say his basic elves though could not dodge. They just failed their dodges all the time. Like the ones with dodge because they had the reroll could do it, but anyone who didn't have dodge just failed their dodges every single step of the way. Which is a bit unfortunate. It did also take a lot of stat hits too, which is pretty rough.
Look,
A lot of injuries and a lot
Statham had to sap their speed.
Yeah. It's like the spirit bomb. But he had a lot of MNGs. Like, he had a little journeyman throughout the season, which was pretty rough. I felt like this team started to get its groove, probably halfway through, and that's where we saw like him doing all the elf bullshit.
Yeah, he did quite well against me as well. I remember coming in thinking like, oh, it shouldn't be too bad. But then I hadn't played an Agi team like all season. This is like game 8 or 9. And I just didn't protect my wings, and he just like stacked one side, scored in like 1 turn or 2 turns. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
right.
same thing. I
Agi
like,
team.
I was playing one of the more faster teams in the league, but even like I just couldn't pin this guy down, not for lack of trying. Whereas a lot of the other team, because it was all bash teams, I was able to at least control what people were doing. But these guys, I just couldn't control them. They just would just dodge through fucking 3 tackle zones. Like, what's up?
You're right about him definitely getting the flow in the set. Like, so he lost Nui, and I guess this is where everything came from. Nui lost his first 3 games. He got fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
And then after his first 3 games, he didn't lose a game for the rest of the season, except for the one against me. every other game was either a draw or a win.
Yeah.
But I guess the 3 initial games were just so much that it sent him back.
Yeah, I think he lost one of his blitzes and a few other things in that time.
And and I think it was when he had like 2 players with dodge, he could suddenly start doing all the bullshit that he needed to do. Because I do remember watching the first few couple of games, and his dudes just kept stacking their dodges, which is pretty rough if you're an elf player. But after that, once they were going, they were awesome.
Shall we do MVP and move on?
Absolutely.
I think send it Statham for sure. He was such a pain when I played him.
Yeah, I think I'll take Jason Statham. Honorable mention to Arnie as well.
Yeah.
They're a pair, you know?
Yeah, they are. It's really hard to separate them because I would go. I'm going to go with Jason Statham just because just trying to deal with him was really, really tough. But he was really hard to deal with, and you had to deal with him because Arnie Airmail was downfield just waiting for that sweet opening.
Yeah.
So
I think the reason I would go with Jason is because of his movements. Like he could touch down from anywhere, whereas potentially someone else could have maybe pulled up Arnie's job if Arnie were off. But
and he could. Jason let him pivot so hard. So if you pulled to one side to stop him, he could just redirect to the other side of the field, and even your fastest pieces had trouble couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
So I definitely saw him also just move him out to mark and to just shift balance to the other side with his elves and help bash the other side as well. So yeah, real enabling player. So Jason sent it Statham all the way for MVP. You can tell. Look, he actually had like a fuckload of fans at the end too, which is like showing that he was like doing well in games for like consistently towards the end. So yeah, that is Action Post. Really cool theme too. Really, just always kills it with the theme. Who's up next?
Bed Bath and Beyond.
Bed Bath and Beyond.
I just want to highlight. Oh no, you can go.
No, you go.
I was gonna say Jeffro, unfortunately, is probably the biggest loser of this entire season because not only did he finish pretty low, but early on he was like, "Well, I'll truly have won this game if Wrathbomb makes it through the entire season without getting any SPP," and he did. He got SPP, so Jeffro lost on 2 dimensions, which is really sad for him.
Oh no! All right, well I guess I'll go through this team. So we've got Wrathbomb, who did get some SPP. That looks like an MVP.
No, I think that's 2 injuries.
2 injuries. Okay.
I think he injured one of my players. Pretty sure.
Oh, okay. And then we've got he's still got the 4 Nurgle Warriors. So with 2 with block, 1 with claws.
Yeah, one of them died with claws and block
that's
in
right,
someone's game.
He's got this Pestigore with a Agi up and claws. He's got this other Pestigore.
You can tell towards the end of the season, it was just nothing but claws.
Oh, you know what? I think it's a really good strategy actually. And we got the 3 Rotters. This team just had rough luck out of the gate. This team was one of those teams that was fated to just have a bad season. Fucking Wrathbomb, I think, is in the leagues for some of the most useless big guys I've ever seen. I have actually never seen a big guy like Bonehead or whatever it was as consistently as this guy did.
Well, I mean, put it this way: Wrathbomb was in every game, right? He has Mighty Blow. He was throwing blocks all the time. He has 2 injuries. I mean, that's where the whole SPP thing comes from. Jeffro at one point was like, he has literally caused no injuries for so long that it will now be a win if he makes it to the end of the season, having literally done nothing.
I wonder if you can get his Bonehead statistics. I don't think you can. He's sustained a bunch of injuries himself too, which is pretty rough. I also just saw his tentacles. Everyone who tried to dodge away from him did. Which is like not what this guy's. He's supposed to like just control everything. Unfortunately, also I think that all this disturbing presence. He really wants to be playing against teams who want to pass the ball and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was just none. There was 1 in this league, and maybe my team if you want to include
I mean,
that,
like,
but
me, Oliver, you, Nui, but that's pretty, like, that's kind of one real passer, and then, like, three that kind of do it,
yeah, like we're kind of more
like the three
run,
human
but like
teams.
yeah. Um, you have a dedicated thrower, but I don't know. Did you
Yeah.
verse him early, and did you have your thrower at that point? I can't remember if you started with your thrower or not.
Um, I don't remember. I did start with thrower. Oh, here we go. No. I don't remember.
Saying that, I
I
do
think
think this team was getting good. I think towards the end of the season it was getting really good. Like all this claw block, actually, if he'd gotten it going, would have just actually been perfect for this league. It would have massacred so many of the other.
yeah, like it did to my team.
Yeah. I guess we saw that your team was just having a field day with everyone, and then this team actually just slaughtered it with all the claws. Because yeah, basher teams don't like their armor going down. Didn't unfortunately get to use this Nurgle's Rot much though, and I feel like his regen, he just failed it all the time. I don't
I
know.
think he reached out a few, but yeah, I don't think he killed a player all season, so he didn't get any free rotters.
Yeah, that's kind of really unfortunate. But you have those seasons. I think it was a cool team, but from the outset, from his first game, I was like, oh, is this one of those teams that's just destined to fail?
Yeah.
I think that as well, and like the league probably not the best for because they're kind of like the chaos where they're like okay at bashing, but these guys are even more spec'd into like not bashing or like being edgy. They have to bash, and if everyone else is better at bashing straight away, it's like, oh well,
Yeah, they want
gee,
that control, and they want a balanced league so they can play their control game a bit.
It looks like he lost a few rodders along the line too.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Which, I mean, they are supposed to do that. Like, they do have decay, but like, I guess you want the attrition to kind of be in your favor somewhere along the lines.
Yeah,
And I think, and I can't remember if this is correct, but I think maybe he got a few what's it called, like man of the matches on rodders that were wasted.
yeah, I think so. I remember it took ages for his Nurgle warriors, and still two of them haven't leveled up. Um,
Yeah.
I think
one
Well,
of
I
them
mean,
was
one
brand
died
new.
though.
Yeah,
Right?
he also has no Apo. Can Nurgle get an Apo?
no,
Oh,
No.
well, that's
because they
really
have
rough.
everything as regen.
Oh,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
there you go. He
Yeah.
also, so yeah, he started with 5 rodders, and I think he actually picked up one from killing someone. So it looks like he's lost like 3 along the line somewhere.
Mm.
And yeah, look, his first. I'm just like vaguely going through bike, but like his first game,
Actually, I think he
one of
killed
his
one of my
brothers got.
peasants or something. I think it might have been
Yeah,
everyone. I'm pretty sure I had a peasant die every game from a certain point. So,
yeah. But even like his first game, one of his brothers got man of the match. That brother's not in the league anymore, so he probably died.
yeah,
Like, so it's just like getting man of the match on characters who then are easy to kill. You know, it's a real,
yeah.
challenge
I can
there.
share that pain. That's yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah, it
Karl, it's
was.
not about you, all right?
It's yeah. I have sympathy for this team because I really liked it, but it just unfortunately didn't get off the ground. What do we for man of the match though? Um, I actually thought both his pest scores did do work.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna give man of the match to Rathbone.
yeah, you were following my line of thinking. I'm like, I mean, this will just tilt Jethro, but um, it's, I mean, it's a skill to fail that many stupid rolls. It's a real skill to do it so consistently. Um,
Although, not to actually give a real answer, but I know Racial Cleanser was actually a recent purchase because I remember the name being contentious enough for me to remember it, and he also has the most SPP. So
yeah, that's
obviously,
actually pretty
when he got
nice.
him, he must have just done work for the next however many
that's true.
games.
Hmm.
Only 8 matches. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's done. Is he the one that's AG4? No,
no,
but he
No,
got
but he's
block
got
claws.
awesome block.
Oh, block claws horns. Block claws horns. That's pretty nice. That's
and
actually.
he's got one SPP off and another level. Mighty blow, throw that on there.
I'm inclined to give it to this AG4 dude because I feel like that would have just having an AG4 Pestigore would have just like made playing just so much easier. Just having someone who can actually pick the ball up and run around with it, because you don't have any sure hands or anything out the gate. So
Yeah.
Mm.
What about you, Brooke?
Yeah, I feel like racial cleanser, just because the name's also pretty funny.
Yeah.
Alright, there
There's
you
a
go.
good theme for the team as well.
The
I did
theme
like
was
it.
awesome. The theme was really cool. I'm actually really sad. It always makes me sad when teams with good themes don't like pop off. Who's next?
Crackheads, I think.
Yep.
Crackheads of Chaos. Um, got the Crackheads. There's some few extra additions. Who wants to take us through this scary ass team?
You can
Yeah.
start, Karl.
All right, I'll do this one. So there's a lot going on in this team. It's definitely it's had a, despite where it is in the league, this team's had a good season, I think.
Yeah.
So we got the Minotaur, Spaniard Hudus, um, Smacky Brown, the Bull Centaur, Crackhead Leprechaun, the other Bull Centaur. So this has got Bull Centaur with sure hands, got a Bull Centaur with block, um, bunch of Chaos Dwarf blockers. I'm pretty sure all the ones that started in the league. I don't think he's had any die. The White Nose Escobar, this guy who was like game one straight into a strength increase. This guy was
Yeah,
really
he was
hard to
nice.
deal with. He was. I think he's been a fucking centerpiece of Footy's team since the start. Really good player. Bunch of Hobgoblins. He's got two Hobgoblins sure hands, and one with kickoff return. I really like this. I think this is
Yeah,
this is
I
really
kind
good.
of
Yeah. Just
after
Yeah.
saying that, I really like the kickoff return.
I don't think we'd seen anyone with it before, and I'm just saying, like, I was like, oh, I haven't really seen anyone with that skill, but
uh,
it's especially because they're lower movement, it's easier to get them to the sidelines if they need to,
my
and
Pro Elf
quickly grab the
thrower
ball.
had it, but he only had it for one game before you fucking murdered him.
Oh, cool.
So, but yeah, this is a really good. This sure hands kickoff return, just really good retriever. He's got Hobgoblin here with kick, and here's Jimmy Fingers. The other probably I would say if I was to pick two really key players this team, it's Jimmy Fingers and White Nose Escobar.
Yeah,
They're just a good combo. Strength 4 still on the line. He's got guard now, and this Hobgoblin was always running around doing shit. Um, yeah.
I guess my question is I see 3 people with sure hands. Is that maybe too much sure hands to have in the team? Is there such thing as
Yeah,
too much sure hands?
Yeah,
I think so.
I
I'm
think
not I guess thinking to our league as well, there's not a lot of strip ball either, so it's not like an answer to an overabundance of strip ball.
I think it's probably one sure hands too many. Maybe get rid of the Hobgoblin. What you could do is you could. I can't remember if these guys have. These guys have. Don't know. Yeah, it's. I mean, you don't also know like what had happened. Like maybe this guy got MNG'd
Yeah, true.
for a game and he needed a shorehand piece, so he just picked up the shorehands piece for one game and was just because he had a level up and it's like, oh, I need a Hobgoblin with shorehands, just pick up the fucking ball and walk the ball up
Yeah.
the field. So I think with these two Hobgoblins with sure hands, I don't think he needs the Bull Centaur with sure hands. I think he's probably better off getting Jimmy Fingers, getting Zanny Xavier to pick up the ball and then just try and hand it off to a Bull Centaur when he wants.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll
but
tell you,
I think
it's a real pity. I don't know if Woody just never rolled doubles or what the go was, but it's a real pity that none of these Chaos Dwarves ever got claws. Like that would
yeah,
have been.
Oh, I
they're
thought they
really
got mutations normally, or is it only on
I think
double?
it's the doubles.
these are doubles,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah, so he
obviously
would have gotten the double six only otherwise.
I'm pretty sure he really wanted claws on this dude. He really
Yeah.
wanted claws on White Nose Escobar, um, and yeah, so because that's what you want. You want the claws mighty blow dwarf blocker, which is pretty nasty.
Yeah,
Um,
strength 4 makes it so good as well, because then you pretty much always 2 die. Don't need
yeah,
to support.
yeah, they're really
Just
strong.
tear through teams.
I do like this as well. I like this break tackle on the Minotaur.
Oh
Stop
yeah,
it from getting
Break
pinned down. I
Tail's
think that's like if
fantastic.
you want to be blitzing with it all the time, that's great. I think that's a good pick. Um, so also, if he's blitzing, he's strength 6, so he's agi 6 for a dodge.
I don't
Yeah.
think that works.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure, but I think when Lewis had his Minotaur, I think he asked that question, and I think I googled it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it depends. Yeah, I guess it'll be the ruling on horns ads. So this
for
the
any
horn says
block
that.
he makes during a
Yeah,
blitz. That's
yeah.
the
So
So
that's
it's not
yeah,
while blitzing. He's got plus
yeah,
one strength.
yeah. So true that. I mean,
But I mean, it's still strength 5, so it's not
yeah,
like break tackle's wasted or anything.
no.
Oh yeah, no. Still 1 to 2 plus pretty much
But
in
I
the
do
tackle
like
zone.
I think that's really good on this. It means you can keep him blitzing, you can stop him from getting locked down. Um, I think the only thing you really want on him is you want a movement increase. You want a move 6 Minotaur with break tackle. That'd be pretty nice. Um, or a
Just
doubles.
while you're writing your wish list there.
Yeah.
I
Doubles.
mean,
Get him
if
sure
you're
feet.
Brook,
Get him sure feet, and just fucking
yeah,
make
if
him.
you're Brook, you can just have it all.
Yeah,
hey?
I know. You know, sometimes I dream of being as good as the game as Brook.
No,
But
my tech for the Minotaur, I reckon, is go extra arms, so then you make him ball carrier.
yeah. Just blitz straight through the. Where are we
Yeah,
going, boys? Straight down the middle.
you go extra arms early, Karl, so that he can be the ball carrier, so he can get touchdowns, so he can get another level up, so then he can get the movement up.
Yeah.
Or though,
Well,
do the hobgoblins get? Oh, they don't get mutation, so you can't have a sure hands kickoff return, extra arms.
Yeah.
Or big hands hobgoblin. That'd be nice. That'd be. See. I don't have much more to say about this team. I think it's like actually, despite where it's ended up on the ladder, I think it's actually a really solid team. You know that would be a strong contender for All-Stars. I think from Woody's teams that we've seen.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
I think
I
this
mean,
is
that's
Woody-
time, so we may as well do MVPs.
I think White Nose for sure. Like that guy was pretty beastly.
I'm gonna say Cracky the Leprechaun. I guess like White Nose was great. Like it's awesome to have a strength 4 piece with tackle and all the rest of that jazz. But he was only doing everything the team did. I think the Minotaurs really bring something to this team.
the
Not
Bull
Minotaurs,
Centaurs.
sorry, Bull Centaurs.
Bull
See,
Yeah.
I actually, you know, I thought Jimmy Fingers was one of his first stat increases, movement 7 hobgoblin. I actually thought he was gun the whole. He does those intangibles. Just I know that any plan that Woody made, Jimmy Fingers was usually in the center of it. And I know that a lot of players tried to kill Jimmy Fingers and remove him from the pitch as soon as they could. But if I was to pick a second, just a tie break, I'd probably go with White Nose Escobar as well. Just because when I was playing him, this guy was always in the center and really hard to deal with. He just kind of kept it. He made everyone else around him better.
Yeah, I guess he's awesome and he makes everyone around him better.
Yeah.
Alright.
There you go. That's the Crackheads of Chaos. Who's up next?
Flavour Crusaders.
Can't be. Surely not. They're in playoffs, aren't they?
They're coming in at a high class number 8.
All right, Flavour Crusaders. Taste excellence.
I definitely enjoyed our first game. I thought it was a very good start to the season.
Yeah, it was quite explosive. I think that losing that night really early on, oof. But I won't take us through my own team. Someone else can take us through what we got here.
You can do it, Brooke.
Sure, I do like, Karl, you divvied away from the dodge sidestep strategy because you were giving people shit for taking too much guard. And then you're just doing the exact same thing but with agi abilities. So he's got some short hands there, that's nice. Actually has a whole massive peasants there. What happened? People weren't killing him quick enough. I think the team did well. I think, mainly it was just losing that night and like first or second game.
First game.
And
night dead out the gate.
So,
and then from there, it's like so hard to struggle back in.
Do you mind if I read through the obituary?
Oh,
Because I think half the names here are Karl's.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am the obituary on this team.
So, Sir Caramel the Salty was a night blitzer who
first casualty of the league, baby.
Yeah, died by Amazon hand. No, Jacques Concierge Chance was the first casualty, I think.
Oh, okay.
Then Hungry Jack Peasant, hired by Steve Jobs.
Yeah, he's on Steve Jobs' team. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
He's on
Taco Bill, bar fight with a group of Chads. MacDonald, Peasant, same bar fight. Baskin Robbins, Peasant, drug overdose. So I'm guessing he died to Woody. Yeah. Bubblegum Bill couldn't handle the Prada, so got
Keith killed him. Yeah.
Guzman's on the Gomez, who literally existed for one game, was eaten by a Saurus. And then Tim of Tam was philosophized to death.
It was.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think there was literally 6 games in a row there. I lost a player every single game, and I just couldn't. I couldn't get that. You remember at the start of the league, I talked about the peasant economy.
Yeah.
It wasn't kind to me this league. I just couldn't
Well-
get ahead of the curve. Couldn't get ahead of the economy.
Well, you lost 7 peasants through the season and 1 knight.
Oh Jesus! Someone should total up how much fucking money that was. So that was an awful lot of treasury.
I mean,
What?
there's 12,
That's like
12 games. Sorry,
that's
11
like
games.
400. It's like 400k ish.
Mm.
Bit under.
11 games and 8
And
Pretty
players
rough.
dead.
Karen Frederick Cornwell, short name KFC. He was he took an armor bust. He's not dead, so he's in the obituary. But that fractured skull of his, that's probably a career-ending injury. So
Yeah.
he's probably gone as well.
But Karl, I feel like you've accomplished what you set out to do with this team. Have an okay team for All-Stars.
Yeah, that is true. I do have an okay
It's
team.
not vampires and
will
it's not goblins.
I will say, so I don't know if you guys saw in my game. So 7 the average here, great player. Always fails his go for it every time. So I got him sure feet, and then I played against Nui, and the first thing he did was double one his first go for it and die.
Oh, that's so good.
So
Fresh.
I'm quite glad that that game didn't get verified because although I did appo him, I appoed him and he was fine, but I was just like he can't possibly fail go for it now. He has sure feet. I was wrong. Yeah, but I did get some guard. Didn't get the stand firm on these guys yet, unfortunately. But I felt like that this team gets good once you get a blodge stepping blitzer. Once you get a blodge stepping blitzer, they're actually not too bad.
Yeah,
Um,
and you got 2 of them. So when did your team start getting good?
when I can tell you the exact moment my team started getting good. It was about midway through the season when I could start hiring Griff.
It brings me to the MVP. I was actually going to say, I think Griff was the MVP.
Yeah, look,
Griff
100%. I don't know if you saw any of my games, Connor, in the second half of the season, but let's just say, have you played against Griff? Because he's fucking amazing.
I did not, but I had Lewis come and complain to me about how fucking bullshit Griff is.
Yeah, he
I think that was the game that shut Lewis out of playoffs, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hey, I didn't do anything. Griff did everything. But I think that
It's
game's
like-
up. You should definitely watch that game if you want to just see some Griff bullshit. Like, it is just Griff carrying me the whole game. I think he'd pitch cleared everyone but Griff to a point, and Griff is still winning.
Kind of reminds me. So Sarah and I have been playing basketball, and we played against we're coming last, and we played against the other team that were coming last, and not enough players from the other team turned up, so they had a bunch of ring-ins, and the ring-ins just destroyed us.
Yeah.
That wasn't so it's like that. It's like the game of you versus Lewis, and then like you get a ring-in, and then the ring-in wins the game.
Look,
It's like,
it was-
well, what the fuck is the point of this?
It was all part of my cunning strategy from the start. Just get so low on TV that I can afford to hire Griff every game.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I didn't have enough because Nui's also had a rough season. I couldn't hire him for our game against Nui,
Hilarious.
which is as you can see, I'm quite consistent with no stat increases and no doubles. So,
Yeah.
you'll love to see it.
Good.
But
Good job.
Oh my goodness, names. As Brooke was saying before, we can see that you gave everyone shit for taking guard, and then you just tried to sneakily take guard in the background.
Yeah.
yeah. But I took guard with wrestle pieces, so it wasn't as good.
All right. Well, that's time. Griff's MVP. Let's move on.
Yeah, look, I was going to give it to 7 the average, but after that last performance, it's got to go to Griff. So, Griff Oberwald.
Short
MVP.
King. Yeah.
Short King's on tour. And I'm just going to check that that's all right. Yep. Alright, well, Brooke, do you want to take us through? Actually, Connor, have you taken us through a team?
Oh, whatever, I'll do it. I mean, before I take it through, bit of an honourable mention. The theme of this team was like an inner, like a meta joke on the fact that Oliver took his team. Love it. And then it became even more meta when they became the bad guys, which I'm really into. But yeah, I guess to go through the team, it's dwarves. I guess we got where are we all at? The Longbeards. They all have tackle and stuff. A bit of a mix between guard, mighty blow. I think one of them has kick. and what's this one? Diving tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got diving
Um,
tackle, which is an agility skill, so he must roll doubles for it. So
He's
well,
actually
if
rolled
you look,
quite a few
he rolled a heap
ups
of
and
doubles.
stuff. Yeah,
mm.
he's got 2 strength ups, a bunch of doubles. He was a bit suffering from
Holy
success
shit,
with
he's
this
so
team.
good at this game. How do you do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the blitzer with dodge and strength up. This kind of brings me to something. So I had this issue when I played Underworlds, which is that when you roll the doubles or when you roll the thing, you want to use it, but then at a certain point, if you just take every single one you rolled and you roll lots of them, your team, I feel like it doesn't do its core function.
Yeah.
So I had this problem with Underworld, and I wonder if Lewis suffered a bit from this as well, whereby he has all these dwarves with like dodge and diving tackle and things like that, but he doesn't have like he's only got 3 dwarves with guard. Um, those are rookie numbers compared to every other team that ever took guard in this current league.
Well, I think Jethro's team by the end of the season
Yeah,
had
if you look
nearly
at
6
Jethro's
pieces.
dwarves,
I think he had more than double,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
that was a 10-game season as well, 9-game season too.
Yeah, well, I mean, but like Lewis's team doesn't need to be Jeffro's team, but like
I'm just
I guess when you compare to the other teams that took guard, he has the same amount of guard as Karl does, and we all agree that Karl's team's shit.
So I think that in any other league though, this would be fine. It was just because it was really bashy. The 3 guard, I guess, wasn't enough to hold him up or let him bully the other bashy teams because dwarves are generally considered the best bashy team.
I think as well
Generally,
to be bashy with dwarves because they don't naturally have a strength, but they have a lot of, I mean, high strength pieces. They have a lot of access to strength skills though, so you kind
Yeah.
of need the guard to make up the strength gap.
yeah.
So if you don't have it against other strength bashy teams, you can suffer a bit. But I guess you do have like your slayers there, but it's not necessarily the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. But defensively, they don't have the strength force. So,
Yeah,
um, but saying that,
Yeah.
it's still I still think it's solid. Like imagine now this team if he took it to All-Stars and then
yeah.
just started putting guard on people. Now he's got dodge guard pieces,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which would be
pretty
scary
good.
as fuck. Um,
I guess to make my point about the guard thing is my game against Lewis, I won. And like obviously part of it was the game and luck and all the rest of that jazz. But like I came into the game with 3 guard pieces and a bunch of pieces with block, and he came into the game with only 1 guard piece. So like for me to be essentially strength ahead, like puts me in like a really cool position for bashing anyway.
hmm.
Um did anyone see how the fucking I didn't even know what this thing's called, the
That's
Uber
roller.
went?
I think it did fine, but I don't know. I thought the read like when if I would get one of these, I would always just be blitzing with it and not like because it has break tackle strength 7, so you
Yeah.
can just blitz cages, do all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You definitely want to
So
use it on your offense so that you can get the full 8 turns with it.
yeah,
I also think fouling with it's not a bad idea because it's going to get sent
especially
off
towards the
anyway.
end of the
It's
half.
got
Yeah, or
dirty player. In the new rules, pro tip, it actually has dirty player +2, so it's 2 to fouls. Um, so this thing fouls like ridiculously well. Um, but yeah, didn't level up. It rarely does. But the only thing you really
Yeah, I
want on
mean
it,
it goes off after 1 round
yeah.
and you probably don't get it till a bit later as well.
I mean, the only thing you want on it is
Um,
block. That's the only thing you want on it. It's like got everything else you want. Um, yeah,
but
it came in quite late into the season, so I probably only a couple of games there that it got to actually play. So
um I might quickly draw a bit of attention to, of course, I'll get your Uber. I think he's probably my MVP. The fact that he was the runner, he had block and he had dump off. He was just a really safe person to hold the
that
ball.
that dump off caught me out heaps of times when I was playing.
I saw him use it pretty effectively as well. Like you'd blitz him with like you're nearly out of players because you just attack the ball, and he'd just throw it like the extra 3 squares downfield, and then just go pick it up on his turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like,
It
I
he
hadn't even
used it.
thought of doing it like that.
Yeah, he used it mainly to get the ball into a better spot than actually pass it to someone. It was just like, well, if this bounces here, then Griff's going to be on it, or someone's going to be on it. So I'm just going to throw it to this fucking Like he basically just, instead of dumping it off to a player, he just threw it towards a bunch of dwarves. So suddenly now it's in fucking a bunch of dwarves. And it's,
Yeah.
you know,
You almost run it with like 2 cages, and
Yeah.
like if someone attacks one cage, you just pass it to the other cage.
yeah. And then like usually either this guy, because he had the 2 runners, the other guy who had dodge, I think.
Yeah, dodge and diving catch.
Yeah, dodge and diving catch. So usually he would just try to throw it near this guy.
Yeah.
For maybe he catches it, maybe he dodges out and picks it up.
Yeah.
It was almost like a leapfrog with these. He actually, I was hoping maybe he should get dump off on the other one and just like they leapfrog it up the field.
But yeah, he definitely didn't play it like how I would probably play a dwarf team. He played for the running game and even the passing game, which was pretty funny to watch sometimes.
It catches you off guard, like
Yeah, definitely.
because you know, yeah, there was a lot of times I tried to blitz the ball and have Griff there to get in, get the ball and fucking run out, but he would just dump off it to somewhere else.
Yeah. So, I guess my vote for MVP is, of course, I'll get you, but
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty solid pick. This strength 4, thanks for checking in. Mighty Below guys, probably an honourable mention, but I know from my game playing, and of course I'll get you, it was a pain in the ass. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna double up on that.
all right.
But yeah,
Next.
solid team. Got some solid teams in the league. Who's up next?
Seraphon All-Starz.
Oh, a new rookie team enters the fray. They're doing quite well. Brooke, take us through.
Yeah, Jade did amazingly at getting Saurus level ups to start with at least. But and he developed them all so well, but he did hit a point where he just couldn't get much more. And all of his MVPs kept going towards his skinks, which you can see are all like 2 or 3 levels in.
Yeah. Speed 9 Skink's pretty
Yeah.
scary.
With Leap. I'm not sure
I don't
he's
think he
actually
ever
used
used
that.
Leap.
No, he used it
I
in
think-
one game and got a
Did he?
TD apparently, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic.
But I do like just getting block and guard pretty much on everything. Solid choices. Just beat the fuck out of stuff.
Yeah, rolling the doubles with the Crocscore, pretty smart move on Jade's.
Good at the game.
Yes, first game, great start, pro level, good at the game. This Crocscore was actually awesome, way better than Luke's Crocscores.
Luke had 2 Crocscores and they were not as good as Soul.
Fantastic. I will say that I think that the one of the things that the reason I haven't played Lizards, I think they're a good team, but they kind of do struggle a bit with their linearity, a bit.
Yeah, I think especially if you're a newer player as well, it's actually like they are simple, but because of their simpleness, you also need to think about everything so much more.
Particularly later in the league. At the start, it's not so bad, but when you're developing the players, it's a bit hard because the Croc scores, they have general and strength. They do one thing. Sorry, the Saurus. They do one thing, and the Skinks do the other thing. But it doesn't really give you a flex. You just don't have a flex player. You don't have a player who can just do a bit of everything.
I mean, he's got one with break tackle. Essentially, that's his flex player, right?
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. I mean,
so that guy can dodge out.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But then, he can't do anything with the ball. He can maybe just get onto it. Yeah, they're a bit. They're a bit strange. The old. They're very max min. The old.
I do know he was getting quite over it towards the end of the season.
Because I know when I played him, and this might have been I just locked up Allosaurus, and then he was like he couldn't do anything because he.
I mean, I guess that's also like one of their worst matchups, right? Because I remember the same thing when I played the Khemri, is that if you just use the peasants to lock up all of the key pieces.
Yeah, control teams. I don't like control teams.
Yeah. So they probably are exceptionally susceptible to peasants that can just lock up every single Saurus.
Yeah, they well, I think it's not just it's control. They don't want to be controlled, because you don't want all your Saurus to get locked up because then these things just get punched to bits. But
yeah.
Hey,
I did find it funny that like Jade obviously kind of knew what he was doing even early on when he was still figuring out how to play the game, because like I remember watching his early games and like basically the skinks all just hid behind the Saurus.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, you can move one around. It's just like, no, it'll get hurt.
Yeah.
And
I
I'll have
definitely
no
think
skinks.
he was definitely a lot more protective of his skinks than Luke was. Luke was very Luke
Yeah.
just fucking threw his skinks in there. He was just like, yeah, they live, they die, they die.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a lot more protective. But he did start with. Oh, they had the same build at the gate. I can't remember.
I yeah. I think he started with the Croc score, didn't he? I remember he started with
Yeah,
only
he did.
Yeah,
his low number of skinks. Same.
Yeah.
Must be Croc score 4 Saurus and
No, you go Croc score 6 Saurus, and then
skinks.
your 4 skinks, but you only
Yeah.
get 2 rerolls.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Luke started with a 4 Saurus, didn't he?
Yeah.
An extra reroll.
Yeah, and then he lost his Croc score and
then he lost his Croc score and he
Yes.
only had the 4 Saurus.
Fuck
Yeah, that's
shit.
right. Yeah. But he had a lot more skinks, so he could just fucking throw them in wherever
They're
he
not
wanted.
cheap. They're so expensive.
Yeah. They I mean, they did die. Did lose a lot of skinks. Oh. Who would you pick for an MVP?
I honestly would probably say Sol, just because he was a rock from the start, and big guys don't get enough credit.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree. It's really hard because I felt like he didn't have one player on this team that really
Yeah, that's true.
stood out. I do remember this Eridani just doing some bullshit in our game, but I don't know if that was consistent across the game.
I'm gonna say a skink. I can't remember which skink's which, but I feel like I saw skinks doing work. So I guess no, that's kind of pointless for MVP because I'm not naming one of them. But I do feel like there was some good skink play in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to double down on Sol just because, yeah, you're right, the big guys don't get enough credit, and it's the things that, it's not what they do, it's what they stop
Yeah.
people from
Yeah,
doing
it's
that
pretty
makes them
true.
really good. So just having block, tail, just a speed 5, 9 squares that's just usually in the center of the field that can lock shit up was really, really good, really useful.
Well, time.
Yeah, perfect, but awesome. I hope you enjoyed it, Jade, even though you got tilted a little bit towards the the end, some of those games I saw. Yeah, I hope you come back for season 5.
Yeah, I hear it's going to be the Kids Live Only League.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually really looking forward to see what Jade plays in season 5. I think it'll be cool. Right, yeah, who's up next?
I believe this is getting towards the playoffs. Who is it?
think it's,
Yeah, Steve's
Steve.
Jobs. Will,
Oh,
the other rookie coach.
Rookie coach. Where are they? Steve's Jobs, who won the theme award, is that, if I recall. Now, a lot to go through here. I also need to go to the bathroom and get another beer. So
Alright,
I'll
I'll do it.
let you guys do this. I'll be right
So I guess a
back.
bit of a shout out to Steve, not to Steve, to Will. First time playing Blood Bowl, did really well. Almost made it to play. I mean, that's same for Jade actually too. Both. So Jade is 6th and Will is 5th, and both of them are only. I mean, Will is tied with Oliver, and Jade's a point under. So both of them almost made it in.
Yeah.
So I guess quick shout out to both of them, and yeah, Will did really well. He he just kind of picked some shit and went with it. Like he's got some arguably questionable choices, like keeping the ghoul in, who's agility arm off 6, but it's all really worked out for him.
I
Really,
think that he's had that goal since the start,
yeah, he did.
bro. And he's
And
just kept it and it's stuck with it, and it's actually done really well throughout the season.
One of the things he said as well, and I don't know how true this is, but he was saying the fact that the ghoul has armor 6 means people overextend trying to take it out. It causes people to get a bit greedy, and it helps them sort of capitalize on that, which is pretty awesome.
I guess that's true. He has given it block too, so it's even harder to take out.
I actually
Yeah.
love that analysis. That's actually genius. I reckon, yeah, sidestep on that bitch too, just to, if you can, just to really
Give people the shits.
Yeah, yeah. I could totally see that being a thing. Sorry, keep going.
I'm just looking at he only took 2 players from the looks of things, which was Albert Orkenstein and Hungry Jack, but they were early enough in the season that Will got a bit of reputation for poaching players.
He did kill more, but by the time he was doing that, it was always against players that people would want to APO, so he just had everyone APO'd everything.
Yeah, yeah.
He did kill another player, but we found out that you can't regen players who have regen. So
Oh, he killed one of I think he killed one of Luke's players.
yes, because he asked me about what like how that worked, and I looked up the rule, and it's like you can't do it on someone who's got regeneration, basically.
Okay,
There was
didn't
another
know
potential
that.
recruit in there.
Yeah, and he killed 2 of my players in the first game, so but you can only get 1 Necromancer off, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so really, there was lots of applications. Just they'd run out of positions.
I mean, a good company has a stringent hiring policy.
Yeah. Can't have all these riffraff in. I think he developed the team really well. Like, I don't actually think I disagree with any of his choices. Like, I like Grab, especially towards the end of the season when so many fucking people were getting block, dodge, sidestep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like, please go away with your fucking sidestep.
And also just to reposition guard pieces, so they're
Yeah.
a bit easier to deal with. Yeah, I really like Grab. I think that's really, really cool pick.
And I know he did really well. Like, he got tackle early because I think he knew he was coming up against Connor. And he just destroyed Connor's Amazons because he just blitzed every turn with his tackle block white.
Yeah.
And I think he had Mighty Blow then as well, actually. And he planned ahead quite well, which was good.
Where is this white? There he is, right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's got his Agi 4 white. This dude was a fucking gun, Steve of the Month.
Yeah,
he was legit Steve of the Month. Steve of the League. He was...
Holy shit, he might have the most SPP of anyone as well, actually.
Does it show here? SPP...
No, he's got 42 out of 51. I think that's the most in the league.
He quite literally is the player of the month. Yeah, because I think I don't know if he got the Agi 4 first level up or second, but
it was later. I think his last one.
It was after Luke. Because Luke got his white and Agi up, and then
maybe I'm thinking of Luke's white then, maybe. But Agi 4 white, that's a really good player. That's a really good player.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
What else to say? What's the ghoul got up there? Has he got the thing that allows him to actually go for it? Executive Steve?
Sure feet. So I talked to him. He's planning, I think, for this guy was sure feet sprint. So he has
a movement 10.
Yeah, movement 10 effectively. Cool. I actually really like this pick. I think that's really good. It's really capitalizing on the speed that they've got. So he has a really high scoring threat.
Yeah. So that ghoul as well with guard caught me by surprise a few times, just because there's things you expect to have guard, like you expect the mummies to have guard, and then for some reason I just never expected the ghoul to have guard, and that caught me out a couple of times.
Yeah.
I think it was a good pick, and Luke, I think, did it a bit as well, or he has one ghoul with guard, and it's actually quite good having it on dodge, so you can quite easily reposition a piece to somewhere that guards needed more instead of getting it stuck in like some shitty situation.
Exactly, and with this sure feet, so I think that's the play here. He's going to have a really fast piece that when it's not a scoring threat, he can shift around to help out and give.
Yeah, it can be quite good on the defense.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. Really solid team. I think this is
I think MVP is Steve of the Month.
Look, it's definitely 100% the second best undead team in the league. It's in my top 2. What do we got for MVPs?
I mean, honourable shout out to We're Inclusive Stevie. I can't remember why, but I remember really thinking We're Inclusive Stevie did well. But I will probably have to go with Steve of the Month just by looking at the amount of SPP on him and all his skills. There's no way he's not awesome.
Look, technically, I'm going to say it's Steve of the Month, but I'm going to take a leaf out of Luke's book and give it to Hungry Jack. So, all the way. He was better I'm glad to see he had a future.
He's even got some SPP.
Yeah, he's actually done better on this team than he did on my team.
Same with Albert Orkstein. Look at him go.
Yeah. Doing well.
I mean, Albert Orkstein, I think, did better on your team because wasn't he like a level up?
So he literally died straight away. That was the first game. Yeah. My player that died later. No, that was against Oliver, and he killed my 13 SPP blitzer.
Yeah. Good on you, Oliver.
Well done. But I guess technically Steve of the Month would be my pick for this, just because I think that's a nuts combo. That's really good.
Yeah.
What about you, Brooke?
Yeah, Steve of the Month MVP for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, nice. Not Albador, so all right. All right. Well, that is Steve's jobs. It's a good, awesome team. Welcome to the league. I did want to say, also just adding on to what you said earlier, that both Jade and Will, I think, not only like good teams, but I think as people, really great additions to the community. So I
They've
hope you guys stick
definitely,
around.
sipped the Kool-Aid of Blood Bowl is a great game and maybe slightly now addicted.
Yeah, Will definitely 100%.
When Jade was down here over the weekend, he was like just playing Blood Bowl at his office because he was like crashing there, like, and then he was going in to play Age of Sigmar, and he was
Yeah.
just like alternating between those two things.
That's good. See, Jade, I was a little bit worried about, but then when I saw the tilt in that man, I was like, "You're in. Welcome." Like, laugh at some of it up. Then it was, no, but yeah, great. I really hope you guys stick around and see you in future leagues because it was really fun to play against both of you. Yeah. Alrighty.
Next up,
Is
squeaked his way into playoffs.
we're in playoffs now.
Yeah,
From middle.
the true villain of the season.
Yeah.
I know
The
I gave
Weebs and the Chads.
Lewis a lot of shit about being the villain, but the fact that the Weebs and the Chads
You
managed
have
to get
to
into
really
playoffs.
go back to the team as well, like his bloody motto as well: TDs before TDs, goals
Okay,
before holes,
that's why now
and
that immediately
victory
makes me
before
hate
anime.
this actually immediately makes me hate this team again. Now I remember why they were originally typecast as the villains. Look, to me, they won't be the villains until they actually win the Man of War, because I cannot. We can all agree that none of us
Well, are
would
you
be.
telling me that a villain can't be a villain until he's taken over the world?
In this case, look.
Hitler
have
didn't
you ever?
successfully exterminate the Jews, therefore he's not the villain. Like,
Hey.
you can be a villain for trying,
Connor,
Karl.
have you ever met a man so insufferable in his confidence as Oliver?
Yeah,
and do you
that's
want
gonna
to
be
give
great when he
that?
loses.
Do you want to give that man 2 victories at the Man of War? I think it would be insufferable. I don't think we could tolerate
I agree. I'm just saying he's still the villain.
it.
Anyway, I think we all agree that we hate this team. And
I do think
vicariously, Oliver too, while we're at it,
I do think it got a bit hilarious that his actual Chads weren't that good. He was mainly carried by Friend Zoned Again and I Heart My Waifu.
That's so good.
I
didn't even notice that.
His Chad, did not do much. I think he kind of got bullied by all the guard, unfortunately.
I mean, Chad there has the same amount of SPP as Wrathbomb.
Yeah. But even all his blitzes, he only got, I think, 2 or 3 of them leveled up in the last few games. And I think that's what really kicked him off into getting to playoffs, because getting those guys at first level up.
Yeah, I know he was trying. I guess I got a lot like my fucking blitzes and shit. Like the amount of times I trying to hand them the ball and give them the TD and just keep fucking dropping it and shit. But yeah, these catches though, his catches and his throw is actually really, really good.
I feel like this team kind of sums up the league a bit. It's just like, yep, there's sidestep, yep, there's guard.
Yeah.
And tackle, just in case I have to face Connor.
Yeah. I think this piece here, the Alpha and the Omega, though, that guy's got one purpose. I'm pretty sure.
Brutal.
I do like this.
Generally,
this is really cool. I think this again, this Dauntless Blodge sidestep is this guy is quite good actually at all offense and defense.
What's the skill the catcher's got?
This one here.
Yeah, what's the last skill?
Diving catch.
Diving catch.
Because he wants to play Kislev again.
Yeah.
But he's also got catch this time too.
Yeah. So he's got diving catch and he can basically catch the ball. Like it's good that he can basically yeet the ball downfield, and even if it's an inaccurate pass, this guy might still have a chance at catching it up.
I think his development overall was really good. Like, obviously, no retarded picks except for the shadowing guy. I remember in his game against who was it? Lewis. He tried so hard. Like they ended up because it was like 2 turns before the end of the game. They just tried shadowing twice, and he just failed every fucking time.
Yeah. I actually don't mind this guy with strip ball because it kind of fits, but
I
like
think if there's ever a place for it, it's on a do with like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense on paper,
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah.
shadowing's still shit.
It,
Like the
it,
problem's not with
oh, you haven't
why don't
seen
you
it on a
date a
gutter
nice
runner.
guy with shadowing.
You see
no,
shadowing on
it's
a
a
gutter
movement
runner.
6
and
player. Yeah.
on a gutter runner, shadowing is fucking retarded. Like if you ever see a speed, what is it, a blodge stepping gutter runner with shadowing, it is disgusting. But yeah, on the move 6 player, it's not great. But like I think humans are all about having options. So just having a spread and just having all these skills that can be useful, maybe, is like good for them.
You're
Yeah,
telling
that's
me that you
good.
don't think the lineman with strip ball wouldn't have been better with like wrestle?
I mean, potentially, but like shadowing is still be kind of fun, and it's not. I'm saying that shadowing is not a completely shit skill. It's not like stab. Um,
I mean, I think I'd be more keen on stab than shadowing.
oh really? I think stab is fucking useless. Uh, but
Well,
or like
anyway,
if you got doubles, dive and tackle here would have been really good. That would have been.
Yeah, well, maybe like an agility up or a strength up. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
bad
yeah,
either.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's moving up,
Um,
moving up because then it goes really well with shadowing.
all right, so sounds like we're just talking shit at this point. Let's pick a an MVP and move on.
I could
it's
look.
friend zoned again.
I just want to point out that I'm so happy that Hentai's art didn't do very well. Um, yeah,
That's
I'm kind of leaning to friend zone again. This guy's just kind of been kind of ludicrous.
He also killed my Orc Blitzer with
Wait,
tackle.
this guy hit friend zoned again. Oh man, he
Really?
probably like
Yeah, one kill
effed his
inflicted. Don't
wife as
fuck
well
her.
afterwards. Jesus, he's that kind of guy. Yeah, wow. Yeah, he fucking totally did. Oof.
I
Oof.
can't.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I actually don't. I must have versed Oliver early. I don't remember many standout players, so I probably will just go friend zone again for another reason that he's got all the
Most of his
SPP.
team was pretty mediocre until like the last 5 games or 4 games in the season,
Yeah,
except for friend zoned again that I heart my wife.
I think interestingly, and I don't know why, this team started to become an elf team.
I think they had
Towards the
no
second
other
half of the
option.
team, yeah. So he was just doing a lot of dodging and bullshit, dodge through tackle zones, throw the ball downfield to the catcher who scores, kind of thing. And I can't possibly think of why that would be the case. Um, but they're human, so I guess you can sometimes play like an elf with them.
It's pretty fun.
Mm. Yeah, maybe I should play human sometime. Um, yeah, anything else? So we're going for friend zone again as MVP, and then we'll
Yeah, I
call it
think
there.
so.
I guess we won't say too much more because we're going to probably talk a bit more about them in playoff predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll leave it there, and we'll go to team number
Luke,
Trey. True
Luke's
love
team.
never dies. We still like the theme of this one. Still holds a special place in my heart. Um, who wants to go through this one?
I guess I'll do it because I don't want to go through my own team.
Alright, true. My birthday
um,
coming up.
so uh, this is the other undead team. So obviously, some of what applies to Will's team applies to Luke's team here. I'm just thinking, probably the first question I've got is how many players did he manage to recruit or steal? I think it's only Chuck the Crate Norris, right?
Yeah, definitely not as high
Not
PR
as,
job
not as
as
yeah,
Steve's
Steve's
job.
jobs were much better at recruiting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny that the last game was Steve's jobs versus True Love Never Dies. So Luke
Mm.
managed to edge him out to be the one and only undead team in the top. What are some standouts? I think both his mummies are quite good, aren't they?
Yeah,
They
they
both
got
have
a.
Yeah, yeah.
there we go.
He,
We got block and guard and stand firm and guard, which is a pretty good pick.
Yeah, I really like this stand firm guard mummy. I think that's just mwah, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this mummy managed to get another level up, it would just be stand firm as well. So he literally has two pillars with guard. That's just, yeah.
And then the whites, we've got Shade Chappelle, who's quite good. He's the classic frenzy plus sidesteps. That means he can frenzy people off the pitch while not going off the pitch himself, which is really awesome.
Yeah, it's
and
such a
then
good combo.
Yeah,
Eucalyptus is Eucalyptus, sorry. He's the agility. I'm pretty sure he got the agility up before Will's. But even though he might be the original agility for white, Will's white was clearly the better agility for white.
It was the
saying
agility
that,
for white
when
of
I
the
did
month.
verse Luke, this guy was a pain in my ass. Just
Yeah, but imagine if he had like Mighty Blow and whatever else.
Tackle.
Yeah, true.
Tackle as well, which is pretty good. Luke, once again, has subscribed to the primary news source of this league, which is 3 characters with guard, 3 characters with sidestep.
Yeah. Also leap. Also in the leap train here.
Yeah.
As well.
He definitely started just picking skills on his skeletons and zombies. Like he's got piling on one, and he's got dauntless on one.
He gave Quentin Dauntless, and he was pretty happy with that. And I think that's actually not a bad pick to have a skeleton with Dauntless.
Yeah. Especially because it's so bashed, there's so many people with high strength, so that's pretty cool.
And you tend to be throwing blocks with your skellies last anyway, so just be like, fuck it, and have a crack.
I do think it's fun. I think Luke would really appreciate and benefit the new season where you can randomly take skills for a lower SPP value.
Yes, I think Luke will love that. I think that's actually... I was actually going to say something about that for the lizards too. Because you can save up for doubles as well, so you can do the opposite. So you don't just roll, you save up SPP, it costs more to buy a secondary skill. So for things like the lizards or the skinks and stuff like that, who tend to score like this, like TDs, but they've only got the one skill access, you can actually save up and get them dauntless, and or if you've already got something, sprint on them and sight and sure feet, you can actually just save up and get like a secondary skill rather than just not knowing waiting for the right roll, which is really good.
Yeah.
But I guess back to the team at hand. Any other kind of standout bits?
I know he tried very hard with, I think it's Cheetos and who's Shade Chappelle? Yeah, Shade Chappelle. He always used to put them on the sidelines, and now he's got them both sidestep. So I think that's going to be a bit of a pain later on.
Yeah. I think this team can play the sidelines really well.
Yeah.
With stand firm and a bunch of sidestep, they can play the sideline really well. And I think Luke would probably do that in the sense of you don't want to get caught into a bash fest with these guys on the sideline because they could just end up pushing all your players off the field.
Yeah. What's Brill got? Has he got grab?
Piling
on. So
whatever.
I mean, interesting.
Sure.
But I think, look, you joke, but I reckon he's only 6 SP off a level up. Give him Dauntless. This piling on's actually not too bad. So, and I've definitely seen that before. Dauntless.
What team do you think Luke will find a way to shoehorn Brill into next season?
I think he's just looking for creative ways to kill Brittlip. I think that's what he's been trying to do since he recruited him in his lizard team, and it just hasn't happened yet. And it's not gonna happen, Luke. So stop trying. He's gonna live forever. He's unkillable.
It's probably worth pointing out that this team, I think most people know it, but this team is entirely made up of people from other teams, and most of the people in this team have done better than they did when they were alive, except for maybe Julia Goes Hard, who was an absolute gun in life.
That is true. She was a gun. Yeah.
A lot of the other ones, like
Suck Me Baby One More Time was, I think, one leveled up.
Probe was a beast in real life too.
He wasn't as good as. I mean, he was better. Like he had Mighty Blow and he was a Storm Vermin. But
you're just trying. In fact,
I'll tell you what.
I
was cheated. I was disappointed that Luke took Vermin Crone and demoted him to a zombie. I think Vermin Crone was white territory,
yeah, but Luke reserved all his own dead players for that.
That's true.
So, he's stuck with it.
Herman Crane was also the best name.
Oh, look, Karl like my balls in there. I forgot about him.
Not to turn Luke's team into a fucking soapbox on my own players, but Herman Crane was an inspired name, all right.
That sounds like fun.
That's awesome.
Sounds like you still got a little bit of PTSD losing Vernon Crowe, Connor.
Oh, he was so good.
I'm glad to see we saw Quentin come back though. That's really nice. You know, he's been a really important player for the league. I think Quentin.
Well, no, that's Quentin, isn't it?
Oh wait, yeah, no, you're right. Quentin's the other brother. Sorry.
Yeah, Quentin is on a different team. You know, they were once brothers on the same team, but now they are rivals.
That's right, because you've got Quentin. Yeah. No, I'm glad to see. Like, they really embody the Man of War League, Quentin and Quentin. It's
yeah.
Hopefully in All-Stars they both come back.
Yeah,
and then their other brother, I can't remember what he was called.
Quantum, I think it was.
Yeah, Quantum can be on the flank. Brother against brother. Well, Jade, if you're confused, we'll explain it to you one time, but we're not going to do it now. Yeah, picking an MVP on this team is really hard because
he's actually got quite a lot of his higher, like, these non-zombie players with all of his level ups. So for me, like when I played him, the hardest thing to deal with his two mummies. That is because he got them level up so quick as well. So it was like, I think game 4 he already had both of them with guard, and I was like, the fuck am I supposed to do against these two cunts?
See, for me, it was the strength 4. This was the agi 4 white. I kept trying to get him to drop the ball, and he kept just walk up and pick it up, or dodge out, which is like,
yeah.
He just had a lot of really good players. Yeah.
I think between the agi 4 white and 3 ghouls, there's a lot of like flexibility to like pivot into like a passing agility team in a team that you wouldn't expect can do that, given the skeletons and zombies.
I mean, there is an option here, guys. We could troll Luke and just pick Brillup as the MVP.
Sounds good. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Well, you guys jumped on that fast. I actually expected you guys to be like, nah, let's not do that.
No, it's Luke's team. It's fine.
Well, all right, Brillup, well done. MVP again. I think he got it last season as well. All right, who's up next? I will say, I do think that True Love Never Dies is a really strong team. I think it's a really strong team. Really
it's so well developed.
Yeah.
Brooks up next.
Whoops, I've accidentally...
You can take the last 2 teams, Karl.
Alright, oh yeah, right, because it's both of you guys, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Brooke, and I expected this team to be at the top of the league, but it's just been edged out. I guess this team here, the Planet of the Orkz, look, it's what a strong, developed, high TV Orc teams is looking like, right? So you just got a lot of guard. You got this is the Orcs that can bash. A lot of guard, mighty blow. You've got some grab in there. Is that for all the sidestep you're expecting to see in the finals? I suspect.
I was gonna say I'm not seeing a lot of the sidestep in this team though, Brooke. What are you doing here?
Yeah,
I didn't roll enough doubles.
Yeah, no, but they're all well. You're still pretty consistent. Look, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not your
I got a
best.
strength up on a blitzer and an agi up on a thrower. That's pretty good.
It's not your best. I've seen you with your stat increases, Brooke, but it's your consistent average, getting at least 2 or 3 a season. You got strength up guard. This dude, Akilla the Orc, is true to his name. Mighty blow, piling on tackle.
He's for Connor's team.
Yeah. I think even against my team, he was pretty. He was having a bit of a field there. It was a bit. Although it didn't really pay off against my team. I think you just didn't roll the armor breaks, unfortunately. But it was definitely scary. This thrower, who you haven't leveled up. Any insight you want to give us as to what you might give him, or?
I'm thinking this block because it's just safe. Like, I don't know. I always end up having people diving my cage and hitting him. So
have you rolled it already? Is it just a normal?
Yeah, it's just a normal. Otherwise, I was thinking safe throw because that just is fun, and it does open up like a lot more possibilities of just like passing over teams so much easier because there's no real agi teams in this league anymore.
Yeah,
in the top half.
Can he take sidestep?
No.
You could potentially just do because it's kind of already thinking, you want. You go block, or you could go dump off as well. It's pretty funny just to throw it towards more orcs. Could be kind of hilarious.
Yeah. That's I was thinking accurate, but then I don't want to leave him down. So like he's only ever really making short or quick passes. So like that's why I was thinking safe throw would be good because then I don't have to worry about intercepts really.
Yeah.
And he can also more likely throw it if he's in base to base with an enemy. Like it's not as big deal because if he fumbles, he won't actually lose it.
Oh, I just realised actually we're going to have to, because I've sent the invites out, but we need to do an MNG clear.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, I
we'll
was
have to
going
do
to
that.
say
So
that.
don't join the I've sent the invites out, guys, to the league. Don't, or you just don't join them yet, because I think you're the ones with any MNG.
I won't.
So
I mean,
yeah. I'll organise that and we'll MNG clear it for you.
I guess my little sort of hot take on this team would be the fact that you have essentially we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you got 12 players and only 2 of them are linemen is a pretty good sign. Like you've got the 4 blitzers. Unfortunately, 1 died, so or maybe 2 died. I don't know. Some of you
Yeah, I lost 2.
You had to restart them. But you've got 4 blitzers. You got 4 Black Orcs. You got 4 people with guard. You've got 3 people with mighty blow. Like
And you didn't originally have the troll. He's quite recent, isn't he?
I only just got him for my last few games because I was like, I'm against. I think it was Jethro, Nui, and someone else. I was like, maybe I'll get some easy SPP against those low armor teams.
Yeah.
And he didn't really do much. So
yeah,
and he died in Jethro's game.
The troll is I've heard on the Orc team is quite optional. You can take him, you can not take him. Some people swear against him. Some people love him. He's
Yeah.
if you like big guys, he's good. But it's the kind of team that you don't need the big guy on. You can kind of leave him off, and you're still okay. Yeah, a lot of a lot of red on this team. A lot of guard and mighty blow. Go figure.
Yeah, my one regret is on my top blitzer, who I had dodge and guard. I rolled double. I didn't roll doubles, and I was like, I was going to get him sidestep.
Yeah.
For some reason, I completely forgot that stand firm exists. So I was like, I fucking just should have gotten that. That would have been perfect.
Actually, yeah, that is a really good combo. Yeah.
Because then he would have just been like stuck there in everyone's faces with his guard.
I guess because we've seen a lot of Blodge step, but we haven't really seen much Blodge firm. But having played a season with Nobles, stand firm is in some ways it's better than sidestep. It's really good. Yeah. Really good skill.
So what would that have been? Stand firm instead of mighty blow.
Yeah, that was his last thing because I was just couldn't think of anything
block,
else.
Dodge, guard, stand firm. Yeah, that would have been pretty monster.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
It's like really hard to knock him down, and then you can't push him away, which stops the guard.
You just having like with that, basically what people do, you'll see a lot of people is they throw a 2 dice block, they get like a push or something, or they're both down, they take the push, and it's like stand firm, and then you just see their face, just oh wait, my whole blockchain's fucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It is really good. It's a really good combo.
All right, MVP.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it's probably Gengork's Khan or Killer Dork for me. Those guys were popping off.
Yeah, I was
because Kingly and Orkz and Naporklian both were the 2 that had to replace a dead blitzer.
Yeah, I was gonna say like your blitzers were. I felt like throughout the season all your blitzers did really well, but 2 of them died, and you could pick either of these 2. I feel like all your blitzers did really good work. But I
think they're both like up there on MVP or like most impactful player. They're both like in the top 5 or something.
I'm gonna go with the Kill of the Orc just because that was when I was first new. That combo was really scary, and yeah, I'm gonna lock in the Kill of the Orc.
Yeah, he's my pick. It also just worked out really well that his name is kind of what he does. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, while you guys were all doing that, I just sneakily snuck in a quick rewatch of Brooks' video, and
Kingly and Orkz, wasn't it? No.
Hold on. Pass by Alexander Orkz the Great. I'm gonna give it to Alexander Orkz the Great because he made it to TV.
He's
gone.
He died.
He died.
Right, hold on. Let me just continue playing this and see who gets the touchdown.
It's Kingly and Orkz.
A Killer to Orc.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. You land on the same thing that we were on. After all that.
Yeah.
I do like it, though. This guy, this is a really good player. He's dead. Such a pity.
Well,
Yeah.
the guy who passed it to. He literally took the baton and ran with it.
Yeah. Little did
He
he
caught
know.
it in the threatened zone as an Orc though as well, and then
Was that
dodged.
against
It was,
Keith? That was the really. That's really
I think so,
wasn't it?
yeah. Or
Yeah.
Lewis maybe.
No, it's little horns. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that play, and you were like, "Oh, let's just see if this works," and it does perfectly. It was like, "Oh yeah, nice."
Yeah, it was like turn 15, 16, I think. Yeah, I was like, well, I just need to roll like 4 4 pluses and I can do this.
Yeah. As a little bit of like a sidebar, very much encourage other people to take videos, put them on the Facebook thing. I think I just ended up spamming the Facebook page with videos because no one else was doing it. But we're all
Yeah, or put them
open
in the
to any
highlight reel in the
videos.
dogs in that document. If there's
Oh,
just crazy bullshit
There are
plays,
there are 5 highlights in this highlight reel document, Carl.
and
4
they're
of
all
them are
yours.
mine.
Yeah.
The other one is the video I just talked about. Alexander the Great and a killer dog.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to put some in there.
Just didn't have any.
Just didn't really
Come on,
have.
how come you didn't do any with Griff?
True.
I don't know if they were all like wacky plays. They were just like him picking up the ball and then passing it, which was.
I
Like,
mean, that's
like,
my first
it
video.
was him being just like a solid player. It wasn't really all day. Maybe I can find something there, Griff. He's pretty awesome.
And if anyone wants any tips on how to actually take those videos, just hit us up.
Then we're bringing to the last team, which is Karl's Calendar Girls.
How's it feel to be in first position, Karl?
This feels great.
This is what organisation gets you.
Yeah, I know, it's fantastic. It's beautiful.
And-
And I didn't even have to cancel any of my important dates. So this is
They
great.
may have
Keeping them
died
alive.
though, a few of them.
So I guess I'll go through this team because it's your team, Connor. So all the important dates in my life.
Miss September is the wrong date, as I've found out.
Yes, slightly off. But we got Rachel's birthday. We have Miss September, which is the meant to be the wedding. Becky Buck's party, great. Connie Firm, fill a schedule, receive an invite, first date. Generally speaking, pretty spread SPP across the board.
If there's any one thing I think that summarizes my team, it's if you go into the Man of War Season 4 stats, I almost have no impact players at all.
Yeah. If there was one thing that I think sums up your team, Connor, it would be the word blodge.
That checks out to me.
So it's just you got a bunch of level ups, and you've just decided that you know what's strong, blodge is strong, and so anyone because the whole team starts with dodge, everyone gets blocked first skill basically. So you got almost everyone on your team is a blodger.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a hindsight thing. I got postponed in the level up right as I lost like 2 blitzes for MMGs. I got her block purely because I just needed more block for that one game, but I would have rathered she had wrestle.
Oh
Just
yeah, have like
like Evie net below her. I would have loved to have 2 pieces of wrestle.
There's a lot of just guard and sidestep in this top half of the league as well.
Yes, a lot of guard. You got blodge
And
guard, which is
sidestep.
pretty nasty. Yeah, this team managed to come out relatively more unscathed than I thought it was. But then again, I guess at the same time, I kind of expected a lot more tackle to be popping up. But I guess with all the bash, I think everyone just prioritized guard a bit more.
For what it's worth too, I was very I made a rule for my apothecary, and it's that I literally would only ever use my apothecary when someone was gonna take an injury that if the injury was missed next game, I was entirely okay with that. It had to be a bad injury for me to ever use an apothecary, and that strategy seemed to work out for me.
Underestimated that you can start with an APO as a thing because you took quite a few injuries over the course of the league that the APO did end up actually saving you from pretty hard.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not to say this team didn't take losses, because you did take losses. I'm pretty sure.
One of his blitzers died. I remember that one. The Agi
it
one.
was
I think
anniversary.
it was.
Oh yeah, that's my anniversary. Right, I gotta cancel that. I think though, it's going to be really interesting when we see the matchups for playoffs, because potentially you have a potential to have a rough first game that could lead into your second game if you win. You know.
I mean, but for the sake of it, I can kind of spoil that now if you wanna to run into the conversation, which is that
Should we pick your MVP first?
Oh yeah.
I honestly don't know who to pick.
Yeah, I honestly have
probably
no
one
idea,
of your
because,
catches.
Yeah, all your players are so. You spread the SPP out so well that it's really hard. I'm gonna pick Rachel's birthday just because I remember her always doing stuff. That's essentially why. So
I'm gonna pick Receiver Invite just because I'm pretty sure I helped name her.
Yeah,
Fill a
probably.
schedule. I know was a personal favorite of yours, Connor.
Well, Phyllis Schedule's the only person to make it into the
Impact players.
impact players. She's always low on it, but it's basically just because she was the catcher I started with, so she has a slight bump on receiving invite. I'm probably going to give it to First Date because she's the only player in my team that's actually unique.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, fair.
If it wasn't for the Karl's Calendar Girl theme, the other theme I would give this team is clones. Like they're all identical.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's the only unique one, I guess. Also, I'm really pleased with the theme because I feel like I've made everyone in the entire league a little bit more organized, which I'm really proud of.
a lot more Google Calendar invites have been used in the.
Yeah. I'm down the Google Calendar thing. It's working out. Well, I guess then, with wrapping up the teams, which this team transitions quite well into, is the playoff predictions. So we got 4 teams that are that we're looking at, which is the Karl's Calendar Girls, Planet of the Orkz, True Love Never Dies, and Weebs and Chads are the ones who made it in. And Connor, you have you have the pick on who you want to play as currently the winner of the league. You want to play, or what you want the matchups to be.
Yeah. So I think after the loss of Anniversary, Karl's Calendar Girls, they've worked a little bit to schedule in some time for Rachel, but really I think they need to spend a bit more time. Got to be as spontaneous as you can be in the land of calendar invites. So I think we're going with True Love Never Dies.
Versus True Love Never Dies, which means the Planet of the Orkz versus Weebs and Chads. Is that because, just out of curiosity, both Planet of the Orkz and Weebs and Chads have like tackle mighty blow pieces?
Look, there's a ranking of how this works, right? So I actually originally was like, I think Weebs and the Chads are probably good because I think I'll come through it assuming I win, I think I'd come through it slightly better because there's less mighty blow and everything else going around. But then I had this horrifying realization, which is if I lose to Weebs and the Chads, it means they'll probably come through pretty unscathed, and that gives them the best chance they possibly could have of actually winning the league. I think we all agree that Oliver can't win this league.
I agree.
That's my
I'm actually
my number one fear. I actually woke up the other
yeah.
night shivering, just thinking that
the smugness levels would be over 9,000.
It would be insufferable if Oliver won 2 leagues. We just can't have it. He'd never. Every time I'd meet him, he'd remind me of it. Like literally, every time we meet up, he would just be like, "Oh, by the way, who's have you guys won twice in the minimal league?"
So I guess the actual matchup, like there is a reason I kind of went with the matchup I went with, but like one of the main reasons is because I thought that matching Oliver against the Planet of the Orkz was the highest chance that his team would just get ruined.
I do have some bones to pick with his I Heart My Waifu player that killed my blitzer, so I'm happy for the rematch.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
And I've never actually played Oliver in playoffs, whereas I think I've played everyone else so far.
But I mean, there's some secondary benefits. So yeah, as Oliver pointed out at one point, True Love Never Dies has doesn't have any tackle. True Love Never Dies is also the only team I've beaten in playoffs. I've lost to both Oliver and Brooke. But having said that, my win against True Love Never Dies was absolute bullshit. Feel free to watch the highlight.
Actually, I did watch that. Yeah, I remember watching that. Yeah, that was
that one was dirty.
So I actually don't necessarily favour myself in a league where I've lost to everyone and the only person I beat was essentially just bullshit. And then there's some other cool bits. Like I realized too that Oliver and I are the only person to like in this finals that have won. So if we play against each other, we guarantee one of us gets knocked out. So it can't be both of us against each other in the finals.
Hmm.
So things like that.
Yeah, I guess it's hard because you guys obviously are both in it. So if I was to ask you who your pick was, you'd just pick yourselves. But
Well, we can do the other side. I think that's good as well. Like we can talk about the other side
yeah,
of the
okay. So
matchups,
if I
or even
guess
just like why we think we'll win. I guess.
Brooke is so we got the undead. So Luke's undead versus Connor's Amazons. What do
Yeah.
you
I remember.
make of that matchup?
I remember watching their original game, and it was ridiculously close. But I think Luke got a lot of powers in that one, which was actually, I would say, lucky because he will struggle to put any of those blitzers down, or pretty much any of Connor's players down. But he is so hard to like bash against, which Connor has to kind of do to break into his cage. So I don't know.
See,
I
I
think it
think
really,
if Connor pulls some bullshit off again, it'd be fine. I think it's gonna be that. But it depends. Like I don't know, your dodge might not work, or Luke might actually bust up a bunch of your players.
yeah.
Who knows? It's hard to see, but definitely not having any tackle piece is going to be rough. And you've got a lot of sidestep, Connor. So
But
he's
I
Luke
don't have
does
as much
have the
sidestep as Luke.
same, yeah.
yeah. But I mean, like Luke, I think would want to play around the sidelines and try and surf people. But if you've got some
Yeah.
sidestep players there, you can kind of like mitigate that a bit.
Yeah.
So it's really gonna be. I don't know if you have a really good way to deal with these mummies, apart from just locking them up and hope they don't roll powers.
Yeah, I remember in your game last time you had some big brain play of like, yes, well, I forced you to do that.
Well, that actually worked.
I
Funnily
know,
enough,
but
that whole thing worked exactly how I wanted it to. So,
hmm.
which was fun.
Well, I guess on the
I
flip
guess
side, Connor, how do you feel about the Weebs and Chads versus um, the Orkz?
once again, I literally matched them up because I want the Weebs and the Chads to get fucking destroyed. So I'm really hoping that happens. And if
me
they
too.
don't, then I'm sure Oliver will remind me of it. But the other bit is if Oliver does win, hopefully he only has like half a team for the finals.
Yeah, I think
Because
they'll.
I guess there's as a quick reminder, there's an MMG clear before the playoffs, but there is not an MMG clear between games. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, I think Oliver's as surprised as we are that he made it into playoffs. I don't think he was expecting to. Um, so I'm expecting some big time plays. I think he's going to have to play a bit like an elf team to.
Yeah. In our when we played last, like I think we drew, but it was quite close, and pretty much from the start as well, I was playing down a blitzer
Mm.
because like it was like first or second thing on my offense. He just killed my blitzer, and I APO'd into another death with tackle, and that really like kind of fucked my game pretty hard. So
Yeah, well,
hopefully that doesn't happen again.
death into death. It's
Yeah,
quite
yeah, easy. It's a pro
fascinating.
play, mate.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, but actually, there's a quick summary too, right? I APO the death into a death. I'm in first. Brooke APO the death into a death. He's in second. I think everyone else should maybe try it.
yeah. No, you're fair. I guess if I'm kind of look, I just don't want either you, Connor, or Oliver to win again. Because I mean, you have
Yeah,
two wins.
I back
Well, I
that.
feel like Oliver will be more insufferable about the whole thing. I do also feel like Brooke that you've been. See, you and Luke, have been in playoffs like every single time almost. Um, I do think this out of all the teams, I think the Orc team is the stronger team.
Yeah, I would favour if I were not. I mean, even I am me, and if I were betting, I'd put money on the Orcs.
Yeah, but you never know.
So
Who fucking knows what's going to happen? Because the undead are quite strong as well. Um, so, but I
yeah,
feel
I can weasel my way through this.
I just feel like
One
Connor's
of the
going
fun
to
things,
weasel and do some bullshit.
one of the fun things about playing in this league is I've never felt very like strong, if that makes sense. Like I am first, which is great. But every game I've come into it, I've been like, I could really fucking lose this game. Like, and it's kind of fun, I
Yeah,
guess.
I'm 7 in a nutshell.
Yeah. Karl, now beforehand, I told I guess Luke didn't. I know that, but like, did Oliver send through what he wants his matchups to be?
No, but I could pretty much 90% guess that he would probably want to go against you rather than
Yeah.
Orkz.
What do you mean he did? He literally said he did it.
I
Have you
mean,
checked your Facebook messages?
I did. I was checking it before, but I might have missed it potentially.
What a
So.
liar.
Um,
What about you, Brooke?
oh, actually, yeah,
Yes.
he did send to me. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh, what did he say?
Yeah, Connor. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wants to be matched up against me.
Yeah.
Who do you want
He
to be matched
said,
up?
sorry, should I clear this out? He said, for the matchups, I'd probably prefer it against Connor, but I made playoffs. I've won my personal victory. So,
All right.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer Oliver's team because I feel like I can beat his team up pretty squarely. Like, I have more guard, have high strength pieces. If I just cage you up and bash with Mighty Blow and all the rest, I should just be able to create a good play of advantage and score more. And if he does get the ball, I feel like he has to score quickly because
Yeah.
I should be able to put lots of pressure on, but I don't know. See what happens.
Yeah. I did
Whereas-
ask Luke, and Luke said that true love conquers all, and he's willing to play against anyone.
yeah.
I didn't want to play Luke's team because it's just so hard to deal as a basher team with those 2 strength 5 mummies. Like, you kind of have to separate them off somehow or whatever, and can just destroy your team if he rolls well. Like, every time I burst the mummies, they just armor break my armor 9 over and over and over again.
Mm. Yeah, and they've got one of them's got blocked now, so you can't even rely on it. And then they have loner, so they can just punch away all day.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
All right. Is prizes last? Or, I guess not
Oh
prizes.
yeah, I almost
but,
forgot prizes.
rewards.
Yeah, rewards. Let's finish it off for that. I'll bring up this score if I can. Hall of Fame. But I guess we can start doing some takes on some of the awards. What do we
Seasonal
reckon?
award. Here we go. So seasonal awards, aside from naming overall champs, there's a variety of other awards. So pre-season, best title or name, we did that one already. Post-season, the banter award, the coast with the most memorable, iconic quote from the season, selected by the commissioners. So who had the best quote?
Oh, that's quite hard. Have you got that document opened up?
Yeah, I'm just
Look,
looking at
Oliver on the chat has a lot of really good. Not to add to his smugness, but he does play being smug quite well. So
You want me to have you opened the thing up? I mean, there's only a few quotes here.
yeah,
There we
people
go.
haven't been quite recording their quotes, but there was some really memorable ones. I mean, one of my favorites is Nui's
Oh yeah,
reaction
Form 11.
to.
Oh
Yeah, that
no, the
actually,
reaction to
I think that
Woody
has to be
ending.
my vote.
Yeah, just no sympathy, just straight.
You did something fucking stupid.
Yeah, that just suck it. That was just amazing. Just that's really hard to beat actually in terms of just sheer audacity.
I think
Yeah,
it wasn't a quote, but the start of the season when we started playing with Oliver's team, and everyone were just like people that hadn't really been looking at his names started reading the names, and then just the worst discussions followed. Like,
Yeah.
there was some funny, like Woody's got a quote in here, like there are plenty of good jokes about rape, and
Yeah, yeah,
I
Jesus
remember there was a
Christ,
few
yeah.
other things people said that were just like, all right, guys, we need to turn this conversation around a little bit.
Yeah. I guess that's why I was kind
I,
of leaning towards Oliver a bit because his team did spark conversation with some
I
of
mean,
their names.
it was literally like not necessarily. I say it was toxic in the classic sense of toxic, but I'm also thinking it was like a parasite that infects you. And I say that because he started talking about seeing weird ads for fucking like hentai on Facebook, and then because of the way shit works, he shared that in the group, and then I
And then
started getting fucking
same
weird
thing. I
ads on
started getting the
Facebook,
same weird fucking ads
and
on
it was
my
just like,
Facebook.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was like trying to go about my daily life, and you just infect me.
Yeah, I just always remember the one he was just the horse one where he said horse and he shared the picture or whatever it was, and then I started getting the fucking horse picture on my Facebook and shit. So I guess I'm gonna go with Oliver, just not for a specific quote, but for I guess
feel like
posting something that then came to us?
I'm gonna go Nui. I feel like the whole point of this is to be a quote, and Nui has a very definitive quote, and it was you know,
good.
like you done fucked up or whatever it was. And there was a moment, and it's very clear.
Yeah, that was probably one of the quotes I remember. The most from this league was just that brutal reaction. All right, so Nui.
Did we get Brooke?
Brooke, do you got?
Yeah, I reckon do it.
I thought you were on board with that. What's our next one?
The Tilt Award.
Oh, can I throw in my 2 cents into this?
For sure.
Go for it.
Start us off.
Usually Oliver was the classic tilter, but I think he's learned to kind of just like tap out a bit and just take deep breaths. But I think we've got an upcoming tilt alert champion in Jade.
I would say either Jade or Lewis.
Lewis tilts
Lewis.
so
Lewis does tilt pretty
not
good.
loudly though. He's just consistently bitching about how he's not doing well at the game.
Yeah. I do.
I think Jade has bigger big tilts. Like when he played against
pretty big swings.
I think your team, Connor, where he just got like dicked on like one roll and then like didn't injure something and then it just went downhill and he went like 0-4 or something.
I feel like Jade leads into the tilt and then he gets that red sight or whatever it is where he's just like, I just want to fucking kill something just to take out my frustration, which just like compounds into more tilt. So
that's very true.
Yeah. I'm going for Jade. For the tilt
I think I think Jade, but I think Jade and Lewis are the two to watch.
Yeah, honorable mention to Lewis.
Yeah.
Honorable mention to Lewis.
I think Woody also is just a quiet tilter. Like when he clicked end turn in that part where he when Nui went off, it was like you could feel the tilt, but he wasn't really saying anything. So that's justifiably tiltable.
Yeah. All right. So that was the banter. Maybe I'll write these down before I forget. The banter award. Who did we say that was again?
Nui for the something fucking stupid.
Tilter award.
Jade.
The Break the Mole award. The coach with the most unconventional skill choice for a player to play a team, selected by the commissioner.
I have a pretty strong, I think, because everyone ended up being very similar. It was so much guard, so much block, so much fucking sidestep. Whereas I think the person...
Are you telling me that probably one of my players with block and sidestep or block and guard were really...
I reckon the whole team, Short Kings on tour, did the most different to a dwarf team. Because he has, I think the runner has run like 200 fucking yards more than anyone else in the entire game. He was making passes. He was like going wild with random agi skills and shit. Like he was just getting in there and doing whatever the fuck he felt like. Not really caring about guard and mighty blow.
I would kind of agree with that. I also think, holy shit, this runner has run a lot. This is like Skit Scamper levels. Some of the players on Luke's team, I would say, like the Frenzy sidestep Blitzer White is a contender, but I think there's so many doubles on Lewis's team here that you've just got a really wacky, dodgy kind of dwarf team, which is kind of really cool.
I basically echo that. Like I was actually thinking Luke until Brooke mentioned Lewis, and then it's kind of obvious in hindsight.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of players,
look at this
but
guy.
I think most of his team was pretty he played his team different to how you would play a dwarf team.
So he's got a runner who's run 238 yards, and this is not his primary runner, who's got dodge and diving catch. So it's like literally a dwarf run catcher. Fantastic. Accounting is real work. You bet it is.
All right. So Break the Mold goes to Lewis.
Yeah.
The Best Coach Award, the most in-character and enthusiastic coach of the season, voted by the community. So this is one of the Facebook polls I put up, I guess.
Yeah, what's the vote? I think you were doing pretty well.
It's getting pretty close. I had a look just before.
Steve's Jobs would also be up there for me, I think.
Yeah, so pretty decisive victory to Will. 8 votes for Steve's Jobs.
Yeah, the fact that they were just always recruiting, just really good PR was just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
I think
fantastic.
that was pretty good. He had lots of good stuff, especially first time in the league. I think he jumped on board with realizing everyone makes stupid teams with silly names, and his was quite unique, I thought.
Yeah.
I know we've already voted for best quote, but a little bit of a run-up quote that happened before we started recording was Brooke saying, "Who the fuck voted for Oliver?" for the most character thing. So that's always nice too.
Fantastic. What else we got? Is that?
So best coach was Will. Congratulations, Will.
Well
You
done.
might not be aware of this because you haven't played in the league before, but you've won. But you've won absolutely nothing. So
Yeah, we
you
don't
know.
have a budget for prizes, sorry. But you've won respect, and really, that's worth its weight in gold. And same to you,
And
Jade, with the
it has no weight.
and same to you, Jade, with the Tilt Alert award. That's a really prestigious award. I know, like, seems like we're taking the piss, but I personally love just like it's really energy for me. It's watching others tilt. I just lap it up. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a spectators.
Yeah,
if just be aware that when you tilt, others will watch on and enjoy it. And as long as you can live with that, then keep doing it.
As I said in that game, Jade, you love to see it. All right.
So the biggest shoulders.
Oh,
I'm
that's a tough one.
going right up. Jason Stathis.
Yeah, I think so, honestly.
Whoa. Slow down, guys. Can I throw a
Griff,
curveball in
maybe.
here? Griff Overwall. I think you've forgotten about his massive shoulders. Thank you very much.
But
yeah, but I mean, I was
Look,
the
I
team
get
he was
it.
carrying as heavy.
Look, I don't know. I get it, but I feel like it's unfair because his job is to have big shoulders. That's what you pay him to do.
Yeah. I
This
mean, you
guy just
can't get
had
him
to.
unless your team sucks, right?
Well, no, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get him unless you've got 280k to burn.
So yes, unless your team sucks.
You could just earn a lot of money, who knows? I might have had heaps of money. Like you never know. But yes, probably. Where is he? Yeah, send it Statham. I think for sure. This guy was a beast.
Excellent.
Just trying to think of any others. Any teams that.
Yeah, I was having a look through. I was just trying to look at like the lower teams to see if any of them like it's Jason Sennett Statham. He's on the second last team, but he is third in impact players.
Yeah, that's what I'm like kind of
I think
thinking.
that's a real,
Like
real hallmark there.
We talked about like the Crackheads of Chaos, but like there's a lot of good players in that team. The team's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Like it's actually a good team.
Like he's second of top scorers. Like he's
Yeah.
a fucking gun.
He's probably scored literally every touchdown of the entire team.
Yeah, probably. Actually.
No, he scored 8 of the 13.
Okay, well, there you go.
Wow, he's actually
Like
scored a lot of
20%.
TDs. Like for like the second last team, he scored fuckloads of TDs. Yeah, Jason Sennett Stadium, I think all the way for sure. That guy is a gun. Right, Al, who else we got?
The PTSD award, scariest team for the season, least ones to stay on the pitch again, voted by the community. I think this was either Jeffro or Brooke.
Yeah,
Here we go.
just
Yeah,
wanted out.
so Brooke planted the Orkz. I would wager it's just because of the amount of mighty blow plus piling on and guard. Like your team's just brutal. But Jeffro got a pretty solid honourable mention.
Yeah, I'd put
I honestly
Jeffro.
think
that's just
if
the
more
sheer amount of
people,
claws.
I think if more people had played Jethro later in the season, they would have put him first because his team was dirt nasty.
I think also just remember if your team wins the Man of War, so if the Orcs actually win the Man of War, they are not eligible to play in a later season. So that could rule them out as well. So
yeah, I mean it's what's the team you least want to play again. So the team that wins might still be the team you least want to play again.
True,
I think
true.
That checks out.
But I do think all this block clause is
Guard Mighty Blow.
Guard Mighty Blow is pretty nasty as well. Any others? We got Punching Bag Award. We got a Punching Bag Award.
The biggest upset, the underdog who managed to beat or draw in a game they
Jethro,
I
100%.
can't think of. Yeah, I was going to say I can't think of anyone else but Jethro's game
Oh yeah, true.
because
He beat you, didn't he?
he
Yeah.
didn't just beat me; he destroyed me. Like it was 2-0.
Yeah, he
That was-
absolutely everyone was like beating up and shitting all over the Nurgle, and then they just fucking clean sweep the Orkz.
And I think I had one small chance to score, and I just stopped him, I think, from getting 3 TDs. So like, I could have maybe scraped in a draw, but otherwise it was like some bullshit to even get that. He destroyed my team.
So I'm hands down going for Jethro. Although
Yeah.
Nui did do some fucking bullshit upsets as well.
He did draw against me. That was what I was thinking. Like, oh, he did do really well against me as well, but it was actually like a lot of back and forth game. Jethro's was just one-sided.
um, Jethro there for the biggest upset. I think that's pretty straightforward. What else we got?
I think that's it.
We don't have a punching bag award. We didn't do a punching bag award.
No,
We can.
doesn't look like it.
Okay,
But
no,
you
we
can
don't need
give
to
one
do it.
out if you want.
I mean, who was
Karl's
the
team.
biggest?
Punching
Yeah,
bag award.
Desperate to win the punching bag award, Karl.
Flavour Crusaders punching bag. Woo! What is it? 8 dead players. Yeah.
I think it was 9.
Okay, cool.
I
Even
think it was just
better.
8.
Even
8
one by
peasants.
more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, it was 8. Yeah, it was 7 peasants. 1.
I probably lost more value. No, it's still not more value, but I lost a lot of value in players because I lost 3
Look,
players. I'm
why you
pretty
gotta do
sure.
that? Why do you gotta do that? That is 8 dead people.
Yeah,
Brooke, 8 dead people who are not gonna get to see their wives and kids again. Okay.
That-
Uh,
I don't think they had wives and kids, man. Have you seen the face of one of those peasants?
Oh, yeah, one of them, look, the wife, sister, same thing, okay? Like,
All right. Well, I feel like this is getting to just menial banter at this point. Shall we finish things up? Are there any other
absolutely.
bits we wanted to touch on?
Are we kicking player WAFs starting next week so
Yeah,
we can start
absolutely.
scheduling games? All right.
Absolutely. So I'll do an MNG clear for your team, but yeah.
I'll
So,
log in and join now if you want.
yeah, invites should have been sent out. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no worries. Otherwise, I guess that's everything. Anything else? I think that's all.
I think
add?
maybe and it's not a you must do this, but for the teams playing in the playoffs, maybe if you can try play at a time that's kind of accessible for others, so other people can join in for the playoff experience.
Mm.
It is a fun time.
But obviously, it's
We
your
will
life,
we
so-
will try and record the games, but obviously if Connor,
I'll
Brooke or
definitely
I
record
can't-
mine,
I
so
can't
that's easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Both of you are playing, so you should be able to record it and upload it. So,
Yeah, I'm just gonna remember.
yeah. Otherwise,
the
yeah,
main
I think that's everything. Hope you enjoyed the breakdown for the postseason.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for playing.
Yeah, it's
Hell
good.
yeah.
And look forward to seeing the finals or next season. I'm pretty keen. Catch you on the
Yep.
pitch.
Yeah. Cheers.
See you.